Hey there, Life Group leaders. It's your Life Group pastor and director, Lacey Ruff, and I'm coming to you today with a quick leadership tip. So, as many of you guys know, because you have been leading for a little bit, there's a variety of people who are drawn to our life groups. Within the life group setting, it's very possible to have a lot of different personalities in one room. And as leaders, not only are we challenged to bring intentional community to those around us, we also have a very unique challenge to facilitate this discussion among a lot of different personality types. So today I want to talk to you about how do you manage conflict if conflict arises within your life group, and just how do you navigate a challenging group discussion. So my first tip for you, first of all, right out the gate, is in order to prevent something like this from happening, let's go ahead and set some ground rules. So if you have a feeling that the conversation could go sideways, I definitely suggest that you take this tip. Setting ground rules does a couple of different things. Primarily, it helps people know what to expect. It sets a few parameters within your group discussion so that people know ahead of time what the purpose of this meeting is all about. And ultimately, the purpose of our life group meetings is to encourage people in their faith and help them experience life change within the group setting. So creating standards and barriers and maybe a group rules for your group is not a bad idea. Another thing that the setting group rules and guidelines does is it actually sometimes puts people at ease. Sometimes people are a little nervous, especially if there's a huge thing that has happened that week, a current event, maybe a political issue, maybe just social things that have happened within the week that people may feel a little anxiety about. They may not want to discuss those things or cause confrontation in the group, and it just puts them at ease, letting them know what we are here to talk about and what we are not here to talk about. So that's the ground rules. Another thing I want to encourage you to do is, if you have set ground rules, or maybe ground rules is not the way that you want to go, and you do find yourself getting a dominant speaker on a particular topic, I'm sure you know what those people look like. Someone with a strong personality, with a strong view or an opinion. How do you stop them and redirect your conversation? That is a great question. And honestly, it's very challenging, and it's probably going to be uncomfortable for you. But just know that if someone is dominating the conversation, that is taking away from the group discussion. Because if one person is talking and monopolizing the time, then that means other people cannot talk and share their opinion. So if we really want people to know that their opinion matters and that their input is valued, but we allow one person to dominate the conversation, then we are actually taking away and lessening their trust in us as leaders. So if you find someone monopolizing the conversation, I would just suggest that you acknowledge their feelings. Sometimes they're just speaking because they want to share what's on their heart. So we never want to let people know or come across as if their feeling or their input is not valued. However, you can always acknowledge and say, hey, I completely understand that you feel that way, or, oh, that is a really tough situation, or, man, that must have been hard. But then redirect swiftly back to the discussion. You know, that reminds me of our next point when Pastor Ron said XYZ, or he said that life is choice driven. You know what? That was horrible. What happened to you was horrible. But we have a decision on how we respond in the face of adversity. And then you redirect it quickly back to another topic. And lastly, the third scenario that I want to talk to you about, or the tip number 3, is what do you do if the conversation just completely goes off topic? People start chiming in, people start giving their opinions. What do you do then? Well, I would just say for you simply is, if people have completely taken the conversation in a different route, and people's input and their emotions are all involved in it, I would just simply say, you can cut it off by saying, guys, these are all great points. These are great things. I understand that everyone's emotions are tied up into this, but don't forget, the purpose of the discussion is to encourage each other. I know that you want to vent, but this is simply not the forum to do it in. And encourage, in as loving of a way possible, you can redirect them and encourage them to get back on topic so that we can all be in collaboration, so that we all can discuss this week's topic. I want to empower you to be able to lead your group in your own flavor. However, it is very important for us as leaders to protect the integrity of the life group. And if we find that the conversation is not beneficial to everyone involved, is getting off into opinions and possibly controversial material, subject matters, it is our role to protect the integrity of the life group and make sure that this conversation is meaningful and beneficial to all who are included. Hopefully this tip and these scenarios helped you out a little bit to be able to manage and handle conflict as it arises in your group. If you have any other questions, feel free to reach out to myself or your leadership team member. We are here for you to support you and make sure that you succeed and have the best life group meeting possible. Have a wonderful day, and I hope you enjoyed this leader tip.